Okay, so we're now at 100%. And like I said, this number here kind of fluctuates. It's not always the most accurate. But when it does get to 100%, you'll know it's ready, and you'll hear the compressor will shut off, and it will cycle on and off. A couple things to note here is you can see the cylinder temperature, and this is in Celsius. So that's the auger inside that's keeping everything cold. There's the hopper, which is telling you the temperature that the ice cream mix in. So that will keep it refrigerated. If you needed to keep it fresh, you can just hit pre-cool, and that will keep everything going and keep it nice and cold if you're not using the actual machine. And then the hardness here, most ice creams you can leave at 7 or 8. If you come into the settings, you can hit user settings, and here's where you can adjust or drop the hardness. But like I said, for the most part, it's always going to be 7 or 8. And I know there's going to be the temptation that I want a nice firm soft serve, but if it gets too hard, what can happen is it can freeze inside the cylinder, and then the machine just doesn't struggle to keep up. So trying to make ice cream is going to be a challenge, and so you might have to de-thaw it and turn it all back on and off. And so you can hear the compressor just kick back on, and you can see the numbers are kind of going crazy, even though we haven't served any ice cream. So like I said, just ignore the numbers. But we know that the ice cream is ready, so we're going to go ahead and serve it, and we can see that we have some nice Dole Whip that we mixed up. And even though it wasn't at 100%, it's dropping to 14. It's still plenty hard and at a good temperature. A couple other items to note: if it ever gets hard that you're having to pump the ice cream and you still have ice cream mix up top, that's when you might have frozen everything solid. So you can shut the machine down, pull it apart, and clean it up. Once you're done serving ice cream and you're ready to clean up, you can hit stop. And what this is going to do is it's going to shut the machine down. And when you're ready to wash it out, you can take the machine apart. First, you want to empty out while it's running into auto function. Run all the ice cream that you can out. After that, you can hit wash, and then you can just use another big pitcher full of warm water and keep running it through the machine until it's coming out clear. And once it's coming out clear, you can take everything apart, just the opposite order of that we did, and wash everything off and put it all back in the bucket. And then if you decide that you're going to take a break from making ice cream, but you want to keep everything cold so it doesn't spoil, if you have maybe a dairy ice cream, then you hit the fresh button, and what that will do is that will keep this ice cream up top at a good temperature so it doesn't spoil. So we'll stop that. If the machine does freeze up where it's not letting ice cream come out, that's when you can hit the de-thaw button, or the defrost button, I'm sorry. So most of the time while you're making ice cream, you want it in the auto function. And once again, like I said, it's showing 0, but it will still make ice cream, as we can show. It's still gonna be full, ready to serve ice cream. As you're serving it, you wanna make sure you give the machine to keep up, time to keep up in between servings. If you're serving a lot of little kids, one right after another, eventually the liquid mixture is gonna come down and it's just gonna be all liquid. So as you're serving it, you gotta remember the liquid comes into the cylinder, and so if you're putting too much unfrozen liquid in, you're gonna start getting really soft ice cream. But if you're giving it 30 seconds to a minute between each serving, you're gonna be fine, and it's gonna be able to keep up, especially if you have a nice chilled hopper. The other thing to keep in mind is that we're not in the sun right now. We're in the shade. If you're in the direct sunlight, the machine's gonna have a hard time keeping up. And then these fans on the backside, if you have something plugging them, then it's not gonna be able to cool anything. So I hope you enjoy renting the machine, and I hope you enjoy it.